Some objects carry more than history. They bring a streak of disaster behind them. Passed through hands, homes, and even empires, they leave unrest in their wake. Legends whisper of cursed items that doom anyone who dares claim them. These aren't just relics. They're traps disguised as treasures. Under the glass of the Louvre Museum sits a gem that once shimmered on crowns and swords, yet left behind a trail of destruction wherever it went. The Regent diamond isn't just a beautiful stone, it's a legacy carved in betrayal, blood, and downfall. It began in India, deep within the mines of Golconda. A slave discovered the massive jewel, desperate to escape his fate. He hid it within a wound in his leg, hoping it would buy his freedom. But he was caught, tortured, and died without ever tasting liberty. From that moment on, the stone seemed to bring darkness to every hand that held it. A British sea captain smuggled it out and sold it for a fortune. The buyer, Governor Thomas Pitt, faced political threats and family turmoil soon after. Though it was later renamed the Regent when sold to French royalty, no new name could cleanse the shadow it carried. Placed in the crown jewels of France, it found its way to Louis XV and later adorned the extravagant queen, Marie Antoinette. Her love for opulence and diamonds was no secret, neither was her tragic end. As she stood before the guillotine, whispers in the crowd spoke of the cursed stone that had sealed her fate. Not long after, Napoleon Bonaparte had it mounted on the hilt of his sword. Victories followed, for a while. But the tides turned, and he was soon defeated, stripped of power, and exiled far from the empire he had built. Even in defeat, the jewel was said to glow faintly, almost mocking its owners. Time passed, but the misfortune linked to the diamond didn't fade. During World War II, it was hidden away to keep it out of enemy hands. Even locked in darkness, its presence was said to stir unrest among those guarding it. Today, it sits untouched behind thick glass in Paris. Tourists flock to see it, unaware of its twisted path through history. Some say they feel uneasy standing near it, a coldness that doesn't match the room's temperature. Once a symbol of power and wealth, the Regent is now a silent witness to centuries of chaos, and though it no longer sits on a monarch's brow or a warrior's blade, its curse, some believe, has never truly been lifted. In Hollywood's golden age, Rudolph Valentino was the ultimate icon, charming, mysterious, and adored by millions. But behind his fame lay a secret many still whisper about, a ring believed to have carried a dark force that followed him beyond the grave. The piece was striking, set with a tiger's eye stone that shimmered with amber hues under the light. Valentino came across it in a small antique store. Something about it pulled him in, and despite being warned by the shopkeeper of its strange energy, he purchased it. From that moment on, his life began to twist in ways no one could have predicted. Soon after acquiring the ring, the actor's once unstoppable career began to flicker. His health, previously strong, declined rapidly. At just 31 years old, Valentino died unexpectedly of peritonitis. His fans were devastated, but some close to him pointed to the ring, saying he had been obsessed with it, even wearing it on his deathbed. What makes the tale darker is what happened next. The ring didn't vanish after his death. It changed hands multiple times, and nearly every person who wore it faced tragedy. One of Valentino's friends, who slipped it on as a keepsake, died in a mysterious accident. A later owner suffered a breakdown and was institutionalized. Even a thief who once stole it from a display reportedly died under bizarre circumstances weeks later. Hollywood insiders began to refer to it as the death ring. No matter where it went, misfortune seemed to follow. The pattern became so alarming that it was eventually locked away in a safe deposit box. Yet stories still circulated, of nightmares linked to those who touched it, of people becoming ill without explanation after being near it, and of shadows appearing in photographs taken around the object. Unlike other haunted relics, this ring wasn't from some ancient tomb or battlefield. It came from glamour, red carpets, and silver screens. That contrast only makes its tale more disturbing, a symbol of style turned into an omen. Today, its whereabouts are not publicly known. Some say it's buried in a vault, others believe it was destroyed. But those who've studied the legend agree on one thing. Valentino's ring was no ordinary accessory. It was a magnet for misfortune wrapped in gold. The fields of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, witnessed one of the bloodiest clashes in American history. In July 1863, over 50,000 soldiers were killed, wounded, or went missing during just 3 days of combat. But long after the cannons fell silent, something else remained. An unseen force said to be tied to the very land itself, especially the stones. Many visitors walk the battlefield today, moved by its history. Some, tempted by curiosity or the desire to hold a piece of the past, pick up small rocks or remnants of old stone walls and take them home. But soon after, the strange begins. Reports tell of sudden misfortunes, injuries, illnesses, house fires, and terrifying dreams. Some say they hear phantom gunfire or voices whispering at night. A few even claim to have seen shadowy figures in Civil War uniforms appear and vanish without explanation. These aren't isolated tales. They're so frequent that the Gettysburg National Military Park regularly receives packages containing returned stones, often accompanied by letters begging forgiveness. In one note, a man wrote that shortly after taking a rock from Devil's Den, his family was plagued by financial collapse, multiple car crashes, and unexplainable noises in their home. He shipped the rock back with an apology, pleading for the haunting to stop. Park rangers have a name for these: cursed returns. They receive dozens every year. Some believe the spirits of fallen soldiers remain tied to the battlefield, unsettled by those who disturb their resting place. Others think it's the emotional energy of the site itself, soaked into the ground, absorbed by even the smallest stone, that doesn't like being moved. Whatever the cause, the message is clear. Don't take anything from Gettysburg that doesn't belong to you. Despite its peaceful appearance today, grassy fields, old fences, and silent monuments, Gettysburg carries weight, and the stones scattered across it are not just leftovers from the war. To some, they are the last anchors of those who died in agony, still watching, still waiting, and still angry when the land is disturbed. It might seem harmless, taking a simple rock as a memento, but for many, that single act has opened the door to something they never expected and desperately wish they could undo.